Hello, and welcome to the Leap Trainer installation video. I'm beginning this video assuming you have installed Visual Studio's, Microsoft.NET 4.0 Framework, and the Leap Motion Controller drivers. Step 1. Make a Leap SDK system environment variable to point to your Leap Motion SDK directory. You must restart your IDE after creating this variable, or it will not be recognized. The fastest way to do this is to just hit the Windows key and begin typing Edit the System Environment Variables to open up the system properties. On the bottom, you will see Environment Variables. Click it. Next, you'll want to add a new system variable. In the variable name field, type Leap SDK in all caps. In the variable field, copy and paste the full path of the Leap SDK folder. For convenience, I keep mine on my desktop. Hit OK and you should see it pop up under your system variables. You are now ready to open the project. As you open the project in Visual Studios, you are going to encounter many errors if you just try to compile it. This is because the references are missing. To remedy this, first go to the Project tab and select Add Reference. Mine is already set up, however you will have to hit Browse and navigate back to the Leap SDK and Lib folder. Select Leap C#.NET 4.0 DLL and hit Add. Ensure it is checked and hit OK. Next, you will need to go to the Project Properties, which is under the Project tab, and all the way at the bottom you will see the project's name followed by Properties. Go to the Build tab. While these properties should already be set, you should take some time to ensure that the platform target is set to 64-bit. Additionally, you'll want to set the configuration to all configurations. Now you are ready to edit the post and build events. Navigate to the Build Events tab and verify both Xcopy statements are present. If they are not, simply copy and paste them from the Developer Installation Guide document included with the source code. Now just do a quick double check and commit your changes by hitting the Save button. You are now ready to compile the project. Thank you for watching.
Hello. In order to start working on the ARCSEducation project, we need Unity to be installed on our system. The current implementation of the project uses Unity version 5.6.4, so we will need to download this version from the archive. Let's go to the following link. t3d.com/get unity download/archive. This link will be included in the video description as well. Okay. You should know that versions prior to Unity 2017 require a separate Unity asset for Vuforia, our augmented reality API. It is not necessary to make a separate download for this, as it will be included as part of the project. However, though, if you want to use the latest version of Unity, it is not necessary to make a separate download. Know that versions prior to Unity 2017 require a separate Unity asset for Vuforia, our augmented reality API. It is not necessary to make separate downloads, as it will be included as part of the project. However, if you want to use the latest version of Unity, know that Vuforia comes pre-installed as part of the system. It no longer uses prefabs for the functionality of Vuforia. Instead, they are components that can be added to the game objects. So go down here to Unity 5.x, the 5.64, and download it for the version you prefer. I'm running on the Mac, so I will download the Unity installer, as it will help guide you to installing everything you need. Once Unity is installed, we need to pull from the repository the ARCSEducation project and import it into Unity. The link for the repository will be included in the video description. Click on ARCSEducation submodule link, as it will take you to the repository where the project is held. Now we will need the link in order to properly clone it. Click here, copy. Now open up a terminal. Let's create a folder for the project. Directory called FIU. Change it into it. Now do a git clone. Cloning. It is quite a large clone, so it'll take a few minutes depending on your internet speed. Okay, so we have finished cloning the project. Now we're going to import this project into Unity. We'll open up Unity, and then via this open button, we're going to navigate to where we cloned the project. So the users, Hamilton Chavez, here, FIU, ARCSEducation. You'll see 3 folders. The Vuforia course samples are Vuforia projects that you can import into Unity, and it gives you examples of how to implement certain features that the API provides. Error Update is a version of ARCSEducation that I use with the Unity Editor 2017 version. However, though, I did not make progress with it because the way the Vuforia features are implemented is very different from what I had already. So you click on now on this project folder and just press open. Unity will load and compile all assets it needs. Okay. Now I'm going to go to Windows, go to Layouts, and go to Default. So here we are. Okay. Within the Assets folder, there are 2 folders that you will be touching very often. One is the Scenes folder. There I have 3 of them. One's for the binary game activity, one's for logic circuits, and one's for the scene selection menu. You can load these scenes by double-clicking on them. Okay. And you will see the game objects here in the hierarchy. If you go back to the Assets folder, there's going to be a scripts folder. These are all the scripts that I wrote that modify various behavior of the game objects. You'll see them as you explore the project itself. In order to use Vuforia as augmented reality, you're going to need an image target prefab. Everything, all the models, all the game objects have to go inside of it for Vuforia to detect it. Something important to know is within the AR camera, if you go to Open Vuforia configuration, you'll have access to various settings that you can change. For example, you can choose which camera you want to use if you have multiple, or as a device camera. Further down here it says camera device. If you have a USB webcam that you use, it'll appear here in the list. It is recommended that you always change it to the device you're going to use so you don't have issues later on when the correct camera is not looking at the target. Furthermore, for the buttons, if you open up the inspector for one of the buttons, you'll see here virtual button behavior script. From here, you can change the setting of the buttons that are in the scene.
Hi, this is the CircGR installation guide. Since this is an open source API, means that you will be provided with both the headers and the source files, as well as the libraries that are used internally. In this case, libraries such as TinyXML, which are used to parse gestures. So what you want to do first is install Visual Studio if you have not done so already, which can be found at this following website. You can use whichever version of Visual Studio is best for you. If you have a license for the professional edition, you can use that as well. But you can go with the community version and just make sure to select Visual C++ to have it installed for Visual Studio. After that is done, what you want to do is that you want to clone the repo CircGR. Currently, the C++ version is found at this following Git repository, and the C# version is found at this particular Git repository. So after you're done cloning the CircGR at a particular local directory, what you want to do is you want to open Visual Studio. Just give it a second. Once that's done opening up, what you want to do is you want to click File, Open, Project/Solution, and then you want to navigate to the particular folder where you have the CircGR repo that you just cloned. So basically, this is what it's going to look like. You're going to have a CircGR API folder, and then you're going to have a Scratchpad C++ folder. The CircGR API folder just contains the headers and solutions. So basically, the plain API for you to incorporate with your project. And Scratchpad C++ is basically an implementation of the API to show you how you would go about to incorporate it with the touch sensitive application. So let's go here and actually open the CircGR API by itself. Make sure to click the .sln for solution in Visual C++. After that is done, you'll see that you have the entire project open, and you're provided with both the headers and the source files for the actual CircGR API.